Okay, so moving on to Matthew chapter 3, verse 13 to 17. So this is when Jesus goes to John the Baptist and asks him to baptize him. And what threw me for a loop was what it said earlier was that people were going to John, repenting of their sins, and then asking to be baptized. And so if repenting of sins had to be part of it, why would Jesus do it? Because he doesn't need to repent of any sins or ask for forgiveness or confess. And then I just kind of came to the conclusion, because he says to John, please do this so that I can follow God or something. It's like, okay, you're just fulfilling what God is asking you to do. He doesn't need to do the forgiveness of sins part, but he needs to do this commitment that God asks people to do. And so then it moves on, and John actually tries to talk him out of it and tries to say, please don't let me do this. I'm totally not worthy of this. I am the wrong person. I'm not good enough. I am so far from what standard you hold. I should not be the one to baptize you. And I think often sometimes when God calls us to stuff, I tend to make excuses like that too, because it's just scary and you don't feel like the right person. You don't feel like you have enough training or education, or honestly, sometimes I wonder why I share on here or share on my Instagram and stuff like that, because I've never gone to theology school. I have zero training. I am literally just telling you what I've been getting out of the Bible the last year since I've been deliberate about it. I'm a massage therapist with 4 kids. My life is not based around seminary. And so sometimes I wonder why I'm posting these videos, but I do feel that God is calling me to do it. And gosh, just hope he's taking them and running with them, because otherwise. Anyways. And so I had just written down that John said to him, like, this is crazy. I'm the one who has sins to confess. I'm the one who needs to change the direction and come back to you. I'm the sinner who needs help in changing, not you. Why would someone as perfect as you want to be baptized by someone as dirty as me? And I even wrote down after that, why would a loving God let a shameful screw-up like me serve him? And I totally get that question. I understand that completely, why John would feel that way. Who am I that you're mindful of me? Why are you giving me this task and this honor? And I love what Jesus says, and he basically just says, please, John, do this for me, okay? Serve me so that I can fully do what God asks me to do, what God asks us to do. I'm asking you to let me use you. Let God use you for my purpose. And what hit me with that was, it said John had to give consent, and John had to say yes. And we have to give God our consent too, and we have to say yes and agree to his plan. He can ask us to do whatever, but we don't have to do anything. So the hard decision is to say yes. But what also hit me is, if John said no, Jesus would have to go look for somebody else to baptize him. He would have to go look for someone else to help him obey God, follow in God's steps, do what he's asking. When we say no, sometimes we hold others back from serving God in the best way possible. God needs each of us to do what he's asked us to do, because we don't know who's around us and needs us to say yes so that they can say yes to what God is asking them to do. Anyway, so then later after that, so John does baptize him. Really silly questions here, but it's because the verse says, let me read it to you. As soon as Jesus was baptized, he went up out of the water. At that moment, heaven was opened, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, you'd come up out of the water if it was just a regular baptism. You go down, you come up. So I thought interesting that this was mentioned. So I actually asked silly questions like, did Jesus rise into the air? as soon as he was baptized, baptism is in water, rising up. But did God lift him higher? Did God make him get air? Heaven opened. How amazing is that heaven actually opened? And John got to see it. And who knows who else was in the desert at that time, because there were always people there. And I wrote down, it opens and down comes God's Spirit straight from heaven, the source. And I just would give anything to have been there for that moment. And it lit him up. And you got to wonder what people thought. They're seeing God. They're seeing a miracle. They're seeing God in action. I wonder if everybody could see heaven open up. And then a voice, to hear an audible voice of God saying, "This is my son, my flesh and blood, a piece of me." Yeah, today is Summer's birthday, my only child that I've birthed. And I wrote here, as your heart races and aches at different thoughts of your own child, the way I think about Summer, and even remembering what life was like 11 years ago today, so does God's heart for Jesus. That's his son. It's like he's saying, this is my baby and I love him. And I think it actually would have been amazing to hear God's emotions and feelings that he has, just like we do as parents. He has experienced the love that we experience for our kids and the hurt we experience for our kids. And I just find that hard to believe, because I feel like no one could love Summer more than I do. And then to take that further, later as we go on, you'll see God calling people his sons or daughters. And so that same feeling for us. But it just feels like God is saying, I am so proud of him. I'm literally shouting it from the mountaintops, from the heavens. And I'm proud in this moment as my son takes this step for me. And I just think it's amazing to hear God's emotions and feelings and love and passion for his son. And we are called children of God. And I wonder if we had miracle ears, if some days God opened up the heavens to yell down to us, hey, you're my daughter, you're my baby, I love you. I am so proud of you today. I'm proud of you for handling that hard moment and trusting me. I am proud of you for just getting on your knees today and praying to me when you felt you had no strength to do anything else. Man, I wonder if heaven is opening all the time and if his voice is affirming us more than we can see. Or if he's sending angels around us to do the same thing, because we're his children too. And he would affirm us just like he affirms Jesus. I hope this helped. Like and subscribe. I tried to do a live, but I can't because I don't have 50 followers. So spread the word. I don't care about how many. 50 is good if I could just do lives. But I guess if Jesus has me just have one subscriber, he wants me just talking to that one person. Have a good day.